Hello! This week we're reviewing Sophia Rose Photography, who does portraits in Sterling, Illinois. So, looking at her site, it's a very nice and clean website. It's it's a very good basic starter theme, and sometimes that's all you really need, to when you get going. I would do something about this logo though. Just right off the bat, it looks like a J instead of an S, so it looks a little hard to read. And I would make it clear that it's Sophia, not Jophia Rose. And just looking from a design perspective, I might even change the black logo to one of the colors that's on the site already, the salmon color or this lighter peach color, something like that. So it ties into the design a little bit more. So one thing that kind of confuses me right away here is the Start Here button. In the menu, it actually leads you back to the same place. It's the home page. So if you're going to have something that says Start Here, people will actually click that. So I suggest you rename this back to Home, and then if you have an actual place where you want people to start, have them have that there. But just replace this with Home, and then people will understand what you're trying to get across there. And as far as the rest of the navigation, I tend to, if you look at some of the past reviews, I tend to teach people to move away from the fractioning of the information. So pricing, questions, gallery, all of those are fractioned informational type pages. And what I suggest people do is consolidate them into services pages. So for example, seniors or portraits, engagements, those are the things that you do. So you'd break them down into those and then include the information that you have in the pricing page and the Q&A page and the galleries. Include those in those pages. So, for example, with seniors, you can have a page set up in the menu that says seniors, and it's all about, that page is all about senior photography in Sterling. And then you'd have the information in there about the full sessions, like you do here on the pricing page. You can have the information about mini sessions. You can also do things like areas you shoot in, your pricing, of course. You can add your FAQs, your questions, all that there. Then that page ends up being, it has all the content that you'd want keyworded on it for your SEO purposes. And it has all that info in one spot versus having to go to multiple pages to find that information out. So if someone really just wanted information on seniors, they'd have all that information there. So that's what I would tend to do and that's what I recommend people SEO wise and just website kind of organizing the information on your website wise as well. Now, I love that you have a testimonial on your pricing page. It's great. I would also consider doing a reviews or testimonials page in the menu, and so you'd have one page with multiple reviews. You can have, I like how you have it that you can click to see her blog post or that particular session. I really like that. You can even add photos here next to them so that you can kind of already tie in with it. So I would do that, have a testimonial page. One thing that I noticed here is that you have Sophia is very young, so that you're already starting off, even though this is a review and a testimonial, and it's a good testimonial, you're already starting off with a concern. You're already throwing out a concern out there that you're young. So in order to get people to contact you, you want to remove those concerns for people and just have them contact you, and then discover if, maybe at some point they discover that you are young, and then you can resolve that concern then. But I wouldn't be putting concerns in people's space as they look at your website. So the one thing that I also noticed on the pricing page here, and this is just, just a perspective of people visiting your site and contacting you. And, when you cross out $450 and then you say that your price is $150, that's a discount of $300. That would tend to, have people think that you're really desperate. So I consider taking that off, and maybe just even, if you want to have a discount, maybe it's just $200 to $150 for a limited time only, or something like that. Have it be a discount, not something that's devaluing your work. Have it be something that's time sensitive, that is not tremendously like undercutting yourself. So the Q&A that I found here is really good. Really good. The one thing, going back to what I suggested about creating the services pages, is, what types of sessions do you do? I do family, senior engagement, children, and couples. Well, if you have that up in here, then you don't really need that question in there. That answers their question. So you want to make sure that you're spelling everything out for your customers and your potential clients. So just throw it up there. That's what you want people to do. You want them to find those services that they're looking for. The galleries are fine. I do tend to like slideshows that keep the arrows in one location. I noticed that as I clicked through, they bob up and down depending on the height of the photo. So I keep having to move my cursor to adjust. It's not a huge deal, but it is one of those little tiny little inconveniences. So if you can find something that has the arrow in the same place all the time, or just make sure that the height of the photos is the same every time. And let's see here. On the blog, I noticed you're putting Sterling, Illinois in the title of all of your blog posts. The problem with that is that your blog post won't really be the pages that rank for those major keywords. One, they tend to have less links than your home page or the services pages ultimately, like links from other sites pointing to your. That's the strength metric in SEO. And a lot of times people don't link to blog posts, especially like this particular one of this girl in the park, right? So unless you're Jasmine Star, but we'll be realistic and say, you're not getting many links to your blog posts. So for that reason, in my SEO video series, and when I teach people, I suggest that people don't use those major keywords, but they use things like the area that they're shooting in. So for this particular first blog post, it could be whatever park you're in. Maybe it's a regional park that has a name, and you can actually use that name. And so instead of using Sterling, Illinois, maybe you use the park name, and that ends up diversifying your keywords. You'll end up getting more traffic that way. People do search for those little regional parks and photographs, and so in a roundabout way, you're getting what's called long tail traffic. Long tail or search terms that people don't really search a lot, but you get a lot of little tiny little searches like that, and that accounts for quite a bit of traffic. So there's that, and then I would also consider using captions and alt text on your photos. So it doesn't look like that you have any right now. So you want to add your captions, which would just probably show up down here, and you're adding more content to each individual blog post. And then the alt text, you want to describe your photos, and that will show up in Google image search, and it'll broaden that long tail search traffic that you're going to get. And yeah, so drop in your keywords casually and naturally in those captions and alt text, and also in your content. So add the park name and all that. So then going to the About page, One thing I noticed here is that you're kind of repeating some of what you're using in the sidebar, and I love that you have the sidebar. I really do, especially that you have your picture in there. Definitely keep this, because this is what has people connect with you. Through a website, it's kind of hard to connect, but if you have your a photo of yourself right there, boom, people can see you, look right at you. It's definitely a way for people to connect with you. Definitely keep this, but I would rethink the content in here. Maybe just remove that, add a little bit. You can even add a couple more photos of you, not this one, but add some different photos of you in here, so people can really kind of get on another level with you. And then one thing I noticed here was that you have an email subscribe, and I think that's great. I don't know a lot of photographers that use that, and I'm just wondering how it's going for you. You had mentioned somewhere else that you send out specials. So are you really sending out emails regularly? You just want to make sure that you're being consistent with it. If you are, if you're going to offer it, make sure that you're really doing it and staying up with it and getting people to sign up and all that. Other than that, it's a clean looking site. It's basic. It's probably everything that you need. I would work a little bit on on your services pages. Really get those done so that people can have that one place to go to. It'll also help you with your ultimately, over time, it'll help you with your SEO. All right, so hopefully all that gives you a good place to start. Thanks.